This is a good ride comparison of the Adidas boot line. If you need help, contact me through the site. I can do it much better there than I can here. Also, if you feel this is helpful and you like this format here on YouTube, like and subscribe and let us know. Now let's go through the line here. You've got the Adidas Xterra 3ST, the Adidas Tactical Lexicon, the Adidas Tactical, the Adidas Response 3MC, and then two boots that aren't here that really didn't change from last year are the Superstar and the Samba. Also, the Tactical didn't change. This is from 2019, but it's exactly the same in 2020. I just have this because this is the boot I ride every day. And let's get to one thing really quick, the fit. Adidas boots run a half size large, so you need to size down one half size. For example, I'm a size 9 on the Braddock scale, true size 9. I'm a D bordering on E, and in terms of width, and all the Adidas throughout their entire line, starting from 2018, 2019, and 2020, run a half size large, so I actually sized down to an 8.5, and that fits me just like a 9 used to fit me from 2017, and how 9s fit me with Burton and most companies that are true to their size, like Burton. So these run a half size small in US sizing. Also, if you run on the wide side, you got a little girth to your foot. They're wider than some of the boots I've tried that come in wide. These are some of the widest. Even my D bordering on E feels like it has a lot more room. I know one guy who is a 9, I think double E, could fit in a 9.5. That was wide enough for him. And before that, he was an 11. You know who you are. You've emailed me a few times. Let's go through the line then. From least responsive to most responsive. You got the Samba and the Superstar. They're kind of in that same boat. The Samba might be a little bit more responsive, just kind of laced up, but that Superstar with that top lace definitely has a little bit more response at first. The Superstar is, though, overall softer. It has a very shock absorbent sole. It's not quite like Energy Boost, but it's a little better than the Samba. And the Samba has more of a skate-like feel underfoot, and it's a softer flex, but you know, Adidas boots don't go really super soft at first. They take a while to break in, and both of those have a lot of longevity to them. So if you want to get something that's more on the softer side of medium, and you want them to hold up for a good amount of time, both these boots will do that job. Then from there, you kind of move up into the all-mountain range. The Response 3MC kind of tweaked out and changed their shell. There's less articulation. It only starts here, where it used to be kind of more like the Tactical ADV. And, you know, you're still trading BOA, and you're trading BOA for a little less shock absorption. You don't have, these guys have a similar flex out of the box as the Tactical ADV that isn't changing for next year. With less shock absorption. You still have a rubber sole though, you know, both have rubber soles. Here's the, you know, the Response 3MC in blue and black. These are the colors that are coming out next year. I was lucky to get both. Couple things that kind of disappointed me, but you know, might not disappoint you. See this nice rubber backstay, or on this, the Tactical Lexicon, that you can see better. They got rid of the rubber backstay and just have some reinforced material here. So it's not really gonna have the longevity that it did last year. They also don't have the long articulating cuff like they did last year. But it's gonna be a little softer, it's gonna break in a little faster, but all in all, it's still very similar to the old Response. For those of you who just need BOA, That's probably the call. For me, I'm not afraid of traditional lace, and I like the adjustability of the lacing system. This is the Tactical ADV 2019 after 100-something days. So that's pretty cool to see how well this looks. You know, only a few little nicks and scratches, but this has held up really well. From all the skinning I did on the drift boards, check out that review. That's pretty interesting. You can see it got, you know, I did a lot of side hilling, skinning up on drift boards, and it's got a lot of indentions there because it's not really made to like flex this way, but overall it's retained its flex really well. Look at the sole. Like, there's a lot of sole left if you compare the two, and it's just, this is the boot you get if you're a 100-day-a-year rider. Now, if you want a little more comfort and a little less longevity and flex, you get, instead of a silver level liner with the Tactical ADV, the Tactical Lexicon has the gold level liner, like the Xera 3ST does. And that's kind of cool, and you know, the shell kind of breaks in a little faster. At least you've got the rubber backstay, but you don't have the articulation like you do. And you can see this, the articulation point stops here with the Tactical. The Tactical Lexicon, it stops here. So, you know, you're trading a little bit of longevity of flex for a better liner. That's basically the difference between the two, but you still have that amazing shock absorption. This is pretty much the best shock absorption in the industry. Just unbelievable. From there, you keep the shock absorption, you get a different rubber backstay with the Xera, but you get a lot more response. And it's changed from last year. Last year used to have kind of like an articulating cuff shell like this. It still has articulation, but it's just not that huge wrap like before. You've got the gold level liner. You can see this shell sits up a little higher. It's a little more, so not only is it stiffer, it sits up higher, so it has a little more leverage, a little more response. And while it doesn't have, you know, they put in a little like rubber reinforcement here on the side, so you know, it doesn't get ruined coming in and out of bindings. You've got the most response in the Adidas line, and you have BOA, and you have the highest price point. If you're willing to sacrifice a little longevity and flex or traditional lace, you know, you can have this BOA over traditional lace. The footprint on these boots is so reduced. This 8.5 is almost like a 7.5. So that's great if you're trying to fit into a smaller waisted board. One thing I have noticed going through the line with some of our guys like Jimbo and Zobel and Grant, who have more 11.5 size boots, when they go up into a larger size, the footprint isn't as much reduced as my 8.5s are compared to 9s. You know, let's say you put a Burton 9, which fits me the same as an Adidas Tactical ADV 8.5. You put those together, the Adidas Tactical ADV is more reduced in that size. But as you get up to about 11, the Adidas Tactical ADV versus Burton, let's say, at a 10.5 is a little more reduced, but it's not, there isn't as big a difference between my 8.5 versus a 9 as there is with, let's say, you know, 10.5 versus 11. But it definitely is still one of the most reduced footprint boots in the larger sizes that we've come across. And the one thing I would say also is comfort-wise, some people complain about pressure on the top of the foot. For me, I break in the boot, and I've had too many years of riding where if something's uncomfortable, I'm done. And this one, especially this year, starting 19 and looking like 2020, they're trying to address that comfort factor and that downward pressure on the top of the foot on a forward flex. So it looks like the newer boots might address that, so it's worth giving them a try. But feet are different, who knows if it'll work for you or not. But you know, it's all about your foot, how it's shaped and how it's made. Boots are hard to review. It's very difficult to do. When you find the right boot, you kind of just don't ever want to let it go, like this tactical ADV for me. But all of these could have appeal for you. And again, feel free to like and subscribe. But if you need advice, you have questions, contact us through the site, fill out the Me Harmony profile, and I'll do a much better job helping you there than I would here.